All truth is good, but not all truth is good to hear. Hey, what's up? What's going on, everybody? I hope all is well on your side of the screen. If you're just now tuning in and you like what you see and you want to see more of these types of videos, definitely make sure you go ahead, hit subscribe, turn on your post notifications so that you know when I post. I do try to get at a certain time, like right before the show is about to air. Because I do watch it usually early, but sometimes the schedule be off depending on what it is, because on the weekends is like a lot going on, you know what I'm saying? What do you guys think about, before we get into this, what do you guys think about Love After Lockup? I was thinking about maybe reviewing that show because I keep on hearing about it, so I want to watch. I'm gonna start watching. I know I'm probably so late to the train, but I've been hearing everybody talking about it's so good, so I'm like, maybe I should check it out. So I don't know. That show, and I still gotta do Catfish. I was gonna do it last week, but then something happened the same day that I was gonna do it. So, and I hate putting up like more than 1 day late reviews. Honestly, with Power last week, it was supposed to go up at a certain time, and my internet was like, not even my internet, but it kept on saying like 45. Like it kept on going to 45, and then I had to like keep on retrying. So at one point I just ended up giving up, because it's like I literally did it, like no lie, like 10 times or more, and I just got so frustrated because I checked my internet, it was perfect. My son was still playing his PS5 and we was streaming stuff, so everything was good. So I think it was just a YouTube issue. So probably like around 11 or so I ended up like actually uploading it. I don't remember if I actually put it up until the next day. It might have been the next day, but anyway, that's my little story. So I'm thinking about that. Most likely gonna do Catfish, and then of course, you know, I gotta do Power Book, the next one that's coming out, Power Book 3, with my boy Tom. That look like that's gonna be fire. You know, that guy has no freaking behavior. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this episode, right? So Davis, he is like, he's pretty much like such an amazing criminal defender. Like, homie was going in, and he was going again against that hot, tough cookie, which is Miss Sullivan. Like, she does not play. Like the way that she talks is just like really witty. Like, she really comes hard, and she's about her business, you know what I'm saying? But he's about his business too, and he don't like to take those L's, so he goes hard. They was trying to talk about, they had like some recording that they was gonna play, and he shut that down early. Like, nah. So he made it where the witness would actually have to come on stand. And he also had to hear the recording prior to it being put into court, because he had no knowledge of this prior. So one stipulation for that was that Tyriq could not hear it, because Miss Sullivan felt like he was such a threat and didn't want anything to happen to Lauren. So Davis was pretty slick, because he was listening to it. Tyriq came in and he walked away. You know, it's like, I ain't gonna be involved in this. No. And Tyriq listened to it, and of course, right away he knew that that was a conversation that he had was with Lauren. So when Sax saw him or kind of heard him listening to it, he was like, all right, let me go talk to him, do some damage control real quick. He spoke to him, let him know, like, you know, make sure that you don't do anything ghost-like, you know, because we don't need that kind of smoke, you know, like, everything's supposed to be good. I know you heard it, but, you know, please just chill out, pretty much is what he was saying. And Sax ended up messing up, man, because, yo, this guy is a fucking liability. Like, he's doing this chick that he wants to be his girl, but she ain't trying to be his girl, because she's trying to keep her head in the game. You know, at the end of the day, they're going against each other. He's talking about he, you know, wants to make it official and all this stuff. Like, bro, what you doing? Like, this is not what we do it right now. Like, I'm trying to stay focused. I'm trying to win. And he ends up letting her know, without directly saying it, that Tyriq heard the recording. And it's like, each time she was asking him, like probing him and asking him more questions, he was kind of like, well, I didn't let him hear it. You know, that's what you do when, like, you fuck somebody, right? And your man is asking you, like, yo, did you, Jamal? And you're like, or, they ask you, like, did you have sex with him? And then you're like, well, or maybe you didn't go all the way. Maybe you did fellatio or something. And you're like, well, nah, I didn't do that. They're like, okay, did you do any, did you, go to the bedroom? You're like, nah, like we weren't even in the bedroom. Nah. Did you have intercourse with, I wouldn't say that. Like, nah, I wouldn't consider it that. I didn't do anything to him, Now him doing it to me was a whole different thing, like, it's just like really a play on words, you know what I'm saying? And that's what he was really doing throughout that whole entire process, which led her to know, like, okay, like, wow, I can't believe you did this. So yeah, I was just like, bro, what are you doing? So Sullivan, she ended up calling Carrie and telling her about the situation with Lauren, and that Tyriq probably heard it, so make sure that she's safe. So Carrie ends up rushing out of the freaking her freaking session that she was doing, the teaching, and going to see if Lauren was okay. But lo and behold, here was Tyriq right inside there. Like, I don't even know how he did it. I guess when he saw her take the call, he must have hurried up and went to Lauren's dorm, because he was in the class. They had a little exchange of words. So I'm assuming as soon as she took that call, that's when he booked it, when he was out. So yeah, he ended up being inside the room, because I guess he figured out, like, okay, she's most likely coming here talking about, once he's seen her, like, take the call. Because for most teachers, you're not going to take a call while you're in class unless it's something that you're really, really super, like, it's super important or whatever. So he's in there. She looked like she was so scared and so shocked and so nervous when he was in there. But he actually convinced her to end up going on the stand, because he was like, if you let her go on the stand, she's not going to be safe. Not by me. I'm not doing anything. But the people who did this, they are going to, like, it's not going to be okay for her. And I thought you're the type of person that says that you love to protect your students. And she was like, yes, I do. And she was like, but I haven't heard anything from you. That would mean I would have to lie. And he's like, well, then I guess you have to lie. You've done it before several times. So, what's stopping you now when it's time? You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to do this. So go ahead and do what you got to do. Now you want to be all moral and high and just and do the right thing. Like, girl, get out of here. So yeah, so she looked like she was considering it once he left from there. Following that, Effie is a mother effing G, okay? Because Brayden was getting some guy that's, I guess, like his weed dealer normally, but the guy, he also sells like coke or whatever. So he was about to buy it from him because they need supply or whatever. She goes and she tastes that sucker. She was like, nah, this is trash. I was just like, well, damn, how you know so quick? I'm like, and how you not affected at all? You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, you know exactly how it's supposed to taste. She was like, nah, this is pretty much like, it's not good. I'm like, okay. she's definitely a G. So it looks like Ghost already had it in his mind, or maybe it was like an alternative plan, that Tyriq and his mom was going to mess up, and everybody in the family was going to mess up. Like, they was all F-ups. Without him, the whole empire would crumble, because he had it where he said, like, if anything happens with Tyriq, the mom is not, pretty much like nobody's around to take care of what's her name? Jazzy? Of this little sister, that she should get adopted and the file should be sealed, that no one would be able to know where she went. So obviously, because he's on trial right now for murder and he might go away if convicted, I guess they're moving forward with the process. So yeah, sucks to be him. Dad was definitely prepared, you know, for worst case scenario. I guess he knew, like, his son's following his path, and this path only leads to either incarceration or death in most cases. And the mother wasn't too, was down for whatever at the end of the day. We knew that one. So Dante, he was calling Monet, and Diana just so happened to be by the door and heard her say his name. So I'm like, this can't be good. So, you know, once she heard that, she already, and, you know, Monet was like, stop calling me Dante. And it kind of sparked her interest. So after Monet had left the room, she started looking through everything. Honey child, she went through literally everything that, where somebody would hide something. That's, I guess she was trying to look to see Dante's picture to see who he was. Because you know, especially old school people, we just have albums. Like, I love albums. I still have about 5 albums. I wish I had more from my childhood, but unfortunately didn't get to salvage those when my mother had passed away. But, you know, we love albums. Well, I do. I don't know about everybody else. A lot of people have conformed to technology, but I feel like, you know, it could be good and bad, just like photos can be good and bad, because if you have any type of rain, you know, water disaster or fire disaster, those are going to be gone. So anyways, back to what I was saying. So she heard that, she looked through everything, including the Bible, and that's where she found a picture of Ezekiel, which kind of sparked her interest because it was a picture of him as a baby. It said his name, Ezekiel Cross, and I believe it was by the Bible verse, most likely, where his name, you know, the same one that was on his dad's arm. Yeah, everything is starting to unfold, honey. So Carrie, like I said, she did take his advice. She goes on a stand, and she was totally annihilated. Like, homie took her down, okay? Like, he destroyed her on the stand. And I'm talking about Davis here. Like, Davis, he was just like, you know, are you involved with somebody? Were you involved with Professor, what's his name? She was like, yes, I was. You know, she had to admit that. Then were you involved with the guy who's the lead like, I guess, investigator? She had to admit that she was. Then it was like, were you also involved with me? And were you involved with the students, Ezekiel Cross? So it was like, damn, especially the Ezekiel one, like that was the one. Could have really gotten her like taken down or whatever, because, you know, he asked her like, what are you supposed to be involved with students? And she said no. And he said, why is that? Because, you know, as she said, because I'm supposed to protect them, and because of the shift in power, I guess, like, you know, pretty much a professor has the power and the influence to influence their student. So that's why they always want them to not have that type of relationship, regardless of the student being a grown-up or not. Which makes a lot of sense, you know, and I think it can mess up the grades. Obviously, the teacher's going to be biased, and the student's going to feel like they have some entitlement as well in most situations. So it's definitely something. So yeah, her credibility was shot. She got a text message from her boss saying, can you come in early? We know what that means. You know, she probably would have lost her job. Just a whole crap show, for real. So Drew, he's starting to become a little more savage, I noticed. Like, he ends up having like a score to settle, because, you know, he already didn't like the GTG dude, the dude with the braids. He was over that dude. And Tyriq came up with this mastermind plan with Monet, Effie, Brayden, right? Brayden was part of the plan, I believe so. Kane, Drew, like all of them, the whole team, right? Squad. You know, he decided, you know, they gonna do this. So their plan was to pretty much take down the GTG people and have Dante think that the GTG people had did it, so that he could pretty much take out their entire squad, and then it would make it fair game. You know what I'm saying? So it was like the way that they actually constructed and did everything was magnifique, pure genius. Like, they did the damn thing for real. So that was pretty awesome how they was able to do that. Like, it went pretty much unhinged. I mean, they had a little issue, but Drew was able to kill off the guy literally with his bare hands. He had a gun, fumbled the gun. I was just like, oh, really, bro? Like, this what we doing right now? Like, how you come ready to shoot somebody and they take it out your hand? Like, I was like, yo. He made me so mad at that point, but I was so happy when he actually, you know, did what he had to do, even though, you know, I don't condone violence, but, you know, we power fans, so F that. Now Diana, she ends up literally snitching at the dinner table. Like, she was like, F this. She snitched. She was done with every motherfucking body because she was getting called out because she claimed that she was at Ezekiel's game, but she actually didn't go. She actually was at Tyriq's trial. But of course, she couldn't do that, so everybody it was kind of like spotlight on me. So she's like, hold the fuck up. Like, y'all want to talk? Y'all want to really be putting me out there? Okay, let's go. Open these can of worms. And she was like, oh, that she told that Kane was the one who put the sugar in the Coke and you know, messed up the product so that he could be back as part of the family. And everybody looked at him like, what? How could you do this? Then Kane, he goes and snitches on Drew and says that Drew didn't kill his boo thing, Everett, because, you know, he's in love with him or whatever. And Zeke is just like, wait, what? You were gonna kill my teammate? Why would y'all do that? Yo, Zeke's character is just he's such a jock, like, that doesn't know anything. Like, he's like the definition of just play ball and shut up. And, you know, I hate that whole thing, you know, because it's so derogatory when you really think about it, especially if it's a black person. But it's like, bro, like, nah, like, talking ain't your strong point, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not. Just do it. Just do it. Just keep dribbling, bro. Keep dribbling. That's what you're good at. And then, what happened after that? Diana, she was just like, what she was saying. I think he was saying, no, Zeke was trying to leave, and then Diana was like, nah, you can't leave, because Monet's like, no, don't get up, like, you don't have to leave. And he's like, she was like, oh no, you can't leave, you are ticket out, like, you the person that's supposed to save the family. She was like, Poppy, you know, like, did you know that Monet is creating a whole entire, you know, exit plan with Kane, and they're ready to leave and do what they gotta do, you know, pretty much snitching about that too. I was like, yo. And Monet, you could see the red coming out to she eyes, all of the steam come out to she ear. Like, she was so fuming. Like, she was mad, y'all. She was mad. And she was like, I'm gonna kill you. Like, she was pissed. But the biggest bombshell of them all was when Diana, and I think this was I don't know if it was because I'm trying to figure out how the chain of events went, because I remember Monet saying, like, you know, how she's having sex with Tyriq, and the reason why you know so much about his case is because, you know, you went down there instead of going to Zeke's game. And then she's like, you know, well, you're out here, she was like, you're a liar too, you know. She was like, you're Ezekiel's mother. And she was like, Ezekiel, you know, you're actually 23 years old. She told him that. So his birthday ain't even when his birthday's supposed to be. I think that he thought he was probably 18 or 17. Homeboy is actually 23. So Kate is like, wait, I'm not the oldest? You know, like, wait, what? You know, that was a bombshell for him. Like, this is really going to catch all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was really like a turning point for the family. And it's like the only thing, no, Zeke was like, and she was like, and Dante is your father. And he was like, no, that guy is not my dad. Like, he's not my father. It's like he was so convinced because Monet told him that that's not his father. That he was like, and then the main thing that he focused on when she told him that Monet is his mom and that's his dad, and that he's 23, is that now the NCAA is not going to accept him or draft him because they would think that he lied about his age. And he's like, it's all because you lied, Monet. That's because of you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, yo, this is terrible. I don't know how she going to try to repair this. Oh, I could tell you how she's trying to repair this, but I'm like, is this really the best approach? But we're going to get to that next. So Dante, he definitely got his revenge on that GTG crew. They pretty much took out their whole entire crew. And on top of that, he also took out the Asian chef dude, you know, the samurai warrior, because, I mean, that dude was down for him. That dude was like, with one little slice, like, he was like an assassin, bro. Like, I was really, like, did you really just kill this man? And the crazy plot twist is, he didn't even do anything. At first, I thought he was coming for Kane, because that's how he does. Like, he'll look at the other person, and you don't even see it coming. Like, you can't even, like, protect yourself because you think that they're talking to that person. Like, he dead had his eyes on Kane, but goes like this and just slices the guy's throat. Boom, you're done. Like, he didn't even have a chance or an opportunity. But the crazy thing is, like, leading up to that moment, is like he was doing so many things odd. Like, he was having, like, arguments with him and stuff like that. So it seemed like he was the mole, even though he wasn't. And that's the crazy thing. That was crazy. I really didn't expect that. I'm like, damn. So now Kane's gonna be kind of like his right hand man. But the plot twist is that he knows who Kane is, but Kane don't know how everything ties into it. You know, until the faces are revealed, that's when shit is gonna really get real weird, you know? It's going to become, I feel like it's going to be a war. You know what I'm saying? But everybody doesn't know Dante's name. They know him as Mecca. So that's where it all is kind of different. You know what I'm saying? So Effie and Tyriq, they were together, and they had like a little moment or whatever. You know, they were about to get their little freak on, which I feel like, damn, you know, he's doing this with her. But I feel like Diana's fully invested in him. Like, she's the one coming to his trial, riding for him. She's the one that's kind of like sprung off him because she gave him her virgin plea, you know what I'm saying? So she's in this. But he tells her that, well, she tells him, and I'm talking about Effie, that she felt like Lauren was a bad influence for him because when he's around Lauren, he has to change to become somebody else. I don't necessarily think he has to change, but I feel like he's perhaps maybe a better version of himself, or a more normal, you know, non-criminal version of himself. Like, he's actually more so invested in becoming something, you know, as opposed to being the biggest drug dealer in wherever, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's almost like the whole situation where his dad was in with the mom, where she just saw him as this big drug dealer who was so smart and a businessman on that aspect, but couldn't see anything past it. I feel like that's where Effie is. And I feel like Lauren, with a combination of, well, Lauren would have been like more like the Angela before she got corrupted, you know? And I feel like Diana's just kind of like in the middle because she wants to go to college. She wants to do certain things in life, but she also has this life in the drug game, you know, just based on her family. So, yeah, he got, I wouldn't even say the best of both worlds. He got all three of them, man. So Monet, she goes to see Carrie. knocks on the door, Carrie opens it. I'm like, yo, nobody looks before they open the door, because I know if I see Monet, I would not open the door, you know. Like, when you live in the hood, you got a different type of mentality, honey. You don't just open the door for Eddie and anybody, because you never know what's going to happen. So anyways, Monet, she comes in, she tells her how she lost everything. And Carrie's like, well, girl, I can relate, because I literally just lost everything as well. And she was like, oh, because of the Ezekiel situation, right? She was like, as long as he has you, he'll never come back to me. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you saying? Like, they haven't even been together like that. Like, girl, that didn't even make any sense. Why would he come back to her? That's what I was saying. So, yeah, I just thought that was weird at first, until I actually seen Zeke go to the place. He actually went to her place, and when he opened the door, boom, she's posted up, hung up like she's a little witch or something, like dead. And I'm like, damn, now I get it. Monet already predetermined that he would go to her, because obviously that's the only, well, other than his aunt, who's actually, or whoever he was living with, which I'm guessing is his aunt, who pretended to be his mom for all those years, which he probably don't want to see her, because he feels betrayed by her as well, because she was part of the lie. And the only other, grown woman mother figure who he feels he can talk to, confide in, and also have sex with, would have been Carrie. So I guess the logical thing would have been that. So that's why she felt like she had to eliminate her, to make sure he doesn't have her to fall back on, therefore he would come back home. And I'm just like, dude, really though? I kind of liked Carrie. Like, she was getting on my nerves, but I kind of liked her. Like, I was used to her being on the show, you know what I mean? But I do feel like it's going to play out properly or good, unless Monet was sloppy about it, which I doubt she was, because obviously she just got annihilated on the stand, got embarrassed, and I think it was like a public trial. There were a lot of people at the court, spectators and things like that, so it probably got leaked, as it did, because her boss wanted to see her early. We already know what that most likely means. And Davis told her to make sure she have her resume ready, because yeah, you about to be done. It was probably not even just her job, but most likely her career, because when they look back at your record, they will see that this is how your track record is looking. So they may not want to take that liability. So you might have to get a whole entire different profession, So it's just a lot that she just threw away, because she was kind of manipulated into that situation. But hey, it's kind of karma, because she did manipulate Lauren into that situation. So with that being said, she knew, like, all right, yeah, my life is kind of over. So a suicidal person would commit suicide under those conditions. So it is possible. So that's what I'm saying. It could be kind of like a clean break, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I don't think that Zeke's gonna get caught up in it, because if he calls right away, he'll pretty much be shown as the person who found her, which is crazy. But yeah, you guys, we'll see how this plays out. If Zeke gonna keep going with the young age, or if he gonna let them know, because then he's not even really supposed to be in high school anymore. That means he was behind in life with everything. That's sad. But we'll see, y'all. Thanks so much for watching, tuning in, and make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. See you in the next one.